Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome into the live. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tanya or Titanium Built. You can call me either or. And welcome in. We're going to be discussing some Idaho 4 content. And I just lost the chat there. Okay. And we're going to just wing it because you guys in the chat said you guys saw some stuff and then I had some stuff pulled. So we'll see where we go. We'll see where it goes. But thanks for emailing me, Ashley. I appreciate it. I actually I was online for, if you guys are unaware, the DoorDash driver has kind of been forced to well, she hasn't come forward, but her video is out there. She got pulled over for a DUI September 2024, so 2 years after the murders happened. And her name is MM in all of the documents. A lot of people know her name. I've been trying to look her up today because I wanted to see what happened with the case. I was curious. So I should have used like good old-fashioned Google. I was, but I was trying to go under the clerk's office. And for some reason, every state is different and difficult. So I had but I had Moscow pulled up for her. And there really wasn't anything new that I saw over there. So I was going to go over to Pullman and see if there was anything over there. And you guys did say that she had a court case today. So when I went to my, like when I typed her name in, it came up. But it was so it looks like a motion to continue. They have the case summary and everything. And this woman has been through a lot. So I'm sure she's, not very happy that she's out in the public eye now. But, I was going to see what I was seeing so I could show you guys. But if you guys missed today's, actually, Bryan Kohberger did have a court hearing today too. So we'll go over that. And then I'll come to this and see what is going on over here. And it looks like, okay, yeah, we'll just go through it. And then if we don't get all the way to that tonight, then I'll come on in the afternoon and do it. But I think we might be able to get to it. Because I was going to actually do something else tomorrow with that. I have a really good live like planned for you guys, but we could just we could just wing it and do a little bit of it tonight too. So it doesn't matter to me. And then I could just pull it all together for another live. Like I could give you what I found tonight, and then the stuff in Latah County wasn't anything like noteworthy. Do you know it wasn't like DUIs or anything like that. It was like traffic offenses, stuff like that. She got pulled over like she got pulled over for the last time. I swear when you're like, if you're drinking and driving, or you're drugging and driving, or you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing and you're driving, why is it always someone's got expired tags or their license plates like falling off or something? It's usually not their drive. It's like, it usually is their driving, but you know what I mean? It's just like, what are the odds? Like you might've been driving good, but buddy, your tags were expired. So we pulled you over. Wouldn't that be a day? That'd be a day. But I wanted to go over the crime scene cleanup tonight because I have like a bunch of these tabs open for you guys to go over, and I wanted to go over this one tonight. I thought these were pretty good. And I've had this live planned for like a week or two, maybe 2 or 3 weeks now. But crime scene cleanup is just, when professionals come in there and they remove everything from like the structure, and they clean and they dispose of all the biohazardous materials such as bodily fluids from like tissues, bodily fluids and tissue, and from locations where violent crimes, accidents or unattended deaths or S's have occurred. I don't like to say when you unalive yourself because they will get you for that word. But it does involve specialized training, equipment, and strict safety and health regulations to restore the area to a safe and habitable space like it was before. With this case, they did the same, but they, what was I going to say? They did the same, but they did it so that whenever they did go to tear down the home, I believe that it wouldn't be as much of a mess. And I did hear, and I wanted to look that up and I actually forgot. Do you guys remember hearing that they buried the house? Like, so that way, like people couldn't go and do like take pieces of it. I'll have to look it up. Like, I remember hearing that. Let's see. Doesn't say. Okay, well, we'll have to figure that out. I'll find that out for you guys. And welcome in everybody. I didn't even say hi to you guys. I just kind of went on with it, but welcome in everybody. It's good to see you guys. And if you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button. It really does help. And hello, mods. I just went back went like through the chat a little bit to see who was on here. Welcome in, everybody. That's just as terrifying as living in a house and all of a sudden you notice satanic pentagram. Yeah, that would probably be not a good idea. Make sure you get that off the ground. They do. So like key aspects, and I have like a little presentation I put together for you guys. I'll show you in a minute. But biohazard removal, decontamination, compliance, and then restoration. So, and I have a video that we're going to watch about. I try to find one that wasn't like that graphic, I guess you could say. So what we'll do is we'll just go down the list as I have them like kind of sitting here. And let me pull this one up and we'll just go from here. So I pulled a couple articles from like when they first, were going to clean the house before they arrested Bryan. So I got an article from like the day before they arrested Bryan. Do you guys remember they were going to go in and they were going to clean the house? They had like pulled up that truck to the door. And they had the tarp over it, like if you were to enter the front door of the house. And they had it all set up. It took them probably a good 30 to 45 minutes to set that thing up, I remember. And we were all just sitting here watching it. And then all of a sudden, they just tore everything down and they just left. And I guess that should have been like our first, I guess that should have been our first like hint that maybe they had an arrest, but we didn't know. I mean, we were like, why are they not cleaning the house? And that's why, because they had somebody, they were like, they were going to arrest somebody. So it says a cleaning crew will soon be going through the Moscow, Idaho home where 4 students were violently slain over 6 weeks ago, as investigators separately comb through over 19,600 tips related to the still unresolved murders. That's a lot of tips, almost 20,000 tips. Moscow Police Chief James Fry said Thursday the department had enlisted a team of professionals to begin cleaning the home at 1122 King Road, where the 4 University of Idaho students were fatally stabbed on November 13th. They said the home will remain an active crime scene under police control for the time being. In a Thursday press release, police said a private company would be cleaning the residence, including by removing any potential biohazards and other harmful substances used to collect evidence. Police officers will be on standby in the area during the cleaning activities, but officials said they do not have an estimated timeline for the services to be completed. Once they are, the home will be returned to the property management company. I don't remember ever seeing them going back. I mean, I guess we did, but I just remember the second video. It says, meanwhile, Fry said investigators have received over 19,650 and conducted more than 300 interviews since the attacks. Of those thousands of tips, 9,025 were submitted via email, 4,575 were called in, and 6,050 were sent in form of digital media submissions. Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, and 20-year-olds Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were discovered fatally stabbed inside the 3-story King Road residence just before noon on November 13th. Gonzalez, Kernodle, and Mogan lived at the address, which is located just 1 block from the University of Idaho campus and within an earshot of some fraternity houses. Officials have said they believe the victims were asleep when they were attacked between 3 and 4 a.m. inside the home. This is when they were saying that, 3 and 4 a.m. at 1122 King Road. Each victim suffered several stab wounds, and some showed signs of trying to defend themselves. And then this picture, we've seen this picture many times, it seems like. The attack was carried out on the 2nd and 3rd floors. 2 other roommates were on the bottom floor of the home and were unharmed. Moscow police officer responded around 11:58 a.m. to a report of an unconscious person at the address, but several people had gathered at the crime scene by the time police arrived, officials said. The 911 call originated from inside the residence and came from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones. Police said multiple people allegedly spoke to the dispatcher before officers arrived. And that's what we found out later on to be true. They kept passing, they passed the phone back and forth. So on December 7th, police revealed they had gathered information through tips and leads about a 2011 to 2013 white Hyundai Elantra being in the immediate area of the King Street residence during the early morning hours of November 13th. Through tips and leads. Wonder if one of those leads was the DoorDash person. They added that they believe the people inside the vehicle could have critical information related to the case. Investigators are now sorting through information on approximately 22,000 Hyundai Elantras that match the description of the one seen near the crime scene at the time of the murders. It was white and its model year was between 2011 and 2013, police have said. Police are also analyzing 113 pieces of physical evidence and about 4,000 photos from the scene. The Moscow Police Department is urging the public to submit any images or information they think could be important or useful to their investigation. They can do so by calling, and it gives the number, submitting tips through the tip line, or sending digital media here through the web portal. Authorities have also created a dedicated web page related to the King Road attack, and they did. And I've never seen anybody do that before. So that's what I was going to tell you guys too. Like, let me know if you guys have heard the body cam footage. Let me know if you guys heard her, what she said. Because when I went back today to listen to it, I heard her say the college girls or girl. She said, it was like, it sounded like she said girl murder. But I couldn't hear anything about Bryan. Like I couldn't hear anything. I tried. Ashley Banfield came out and said it. So when I listened to News Nation, she heard it. I just don't hear it. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to listen to it again tonight with the booster up. I'm like, I'm going in with the booster now. Because she is like looking away when she's talking. So she's not facing the lady with the microphone or whatever, like she has like a body cam or something on. So she's not like right in the mic, you know what I mean? So she's like looking this way, like, and looking back, and it's just hard to hear her. So I just wanted to know if you guys had heard it. Yeah, I put headphones on. Yeah, that's the thing. And I had them jacked up. I didn't hear anything about Bryan. That's where I'm like, I didn't even hear her say anything about like parking. Like I didn't hear any of that. Like I was trying so hard. I was like listening, but I even had my eyes closed so I could like really listen to just her voice, but I still couldn't hear it. And I have really good ears. That's like one good thing about me. May not have the vision, right? But I've got the ears. I did get some really, I mean, I usually can hear anything. Like it's crazy usually how much I hear. There was something in this one that I wanted to show. I'll show this one after we do this. Okay. So let me see if I can present this. And then I have to go back. I don't know why it makes me do this like this. I'm probably just doing it wrong. That's probably what it is. I put this together though, a couple weeks ago, I think it's been a couple weeks, but we'll go through, how they, go in and they clean the house and all of that. We'll go in there and we'll look. Actually, I wanted to show you though, the inside of the house before we did this. So, we'll read this first though. So biohazard remediation is a critical process involving the removal, cleaning, and disinfection of materials contaminated with harmful biological substances to restore the affected area to a safe and habitable state. So, and you'll see in the video like what they have to do. I mean, there's a process to it. I went to school for criminal justice and applied science, but we didn't know anything about. We didn't really go over this too much. I may have taken like a couple, maybe did a couple papers on it, but I don't know a whole lot about it. So I do now. So key steps in the biohazard remediation process generally include assessment and planning, thoroughly assess the scene to identify the type and extent of biohazard present, such as blood, bodily fluids, chemicals, or mold, evaluate potential risk, and develop a comprehensive cleanup plan. I wonder when they went in there with the HVAC, if that was part of the cleaning process, I wonder. Establishment of a controlled environment, create a clean zone or control room to prevent the spread of contamination beyond the affected area. This may involve using barriers like plastic sheeting and specialized equipment like air scrubbers. And they would have just like designated, I guess, one of the rooms to do this. I don't know which room. I would probably say the living room. Like it's still in like an area where it's, you don't want to be going from the third floor all the way to the first floor with stuff like, that's probably where I would pick. So, that's what I would say. Yeah. That's what I would think. Maybe personal protective equipment, the PPE, cleanup technicians wear appropriate PPE, such as hazmat suits, gloves, and respirators to protect themselves from exposure to harmful substances. Have you guys ever worn like those PPE masks? Not like the regular masks, just like, but the PPE ones, those ones, they hurt. HVAC was to remove filters and furnaces vents. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Ashley. I was just wondering. I was like, maybe they wanted to do that, They did it as part of the cleaning process. Because, if I don't know exactly. I'd have to look in that like model house and see if we could see them in there. I don't know where their vents were exactly, if they were in the floor or on the ceiling. You know, some vents are like central air, they're on the floor, some are on the ceiling. So I didn't know if like bodily fluids got into the HVAC system somehow. I don't know. And they didn't want to like have to be breathing that stuff in while they're in there. So that wouldn't be good. So removal of contaminated materials, carefully remove visible damage and potentially infectious materials from the scene, which the cops, Ellie had helped with that because they had taken out a lot of the stuff that they were going to give back to the surviving roommates and to the victims' families. So, and I have a video of them like taking stuff out of the house too. So contaminated items like furniture or carpeting that cannot be properly disinfected may need to be removed. And that's probably why they had that big old truck there, you know, to put the furniture and stuff in. Cleaning and decontamination. Thoroughly clean and decontaminate all affected surfaces using specialized cleaning agents and equipment, following strict protocols and contact times for disinfectants. Advanced techniques like fogging or misting may be used to ensure thorough disinfection. It's going to make me want to go start cleaning. Just kidding. Disposal of hazardous waste. Properly dispose of all biohazardous waste according to local, state, and federal regulations. This includes proper packaging, labeling, and transportation of waste to certified disposal facilities. Now, to me, that's what I would think that they would have taken the house, like straight to the landfill, right? Like, how are they going to bury a whole house? But I heard that through this case. I don't know who said it. I don't remember where I heard it, but did anyone else hear that? Like it was, they took, like when they took the pieces of the house, they like buried them. I'm like, wait a minute. Wouldn't they just take it straight to the landfill? Like, I mean, people will go anywhere, but will they go to a landfill? I wouldn't. Sanitation and deodorization. Sanitize the air and deodorize the space to eliminate pathogens and remove lingering odors. This may involve using hydroxyl generators or other UV light sources. Make sure you got it all up. Stain sealing and restoration. I wonder how many people it would take to clean like a house that big. You know what I mean? Like I'm curious. Seal any remaining stains to prevent further contamination and restore the appearance of the infected area. Repair or replace any damaged materials such as flooring or drywall may be necessary to complete the restoration. And they didn't do that. They didn't need to. Final inspection and verification. Conduct a final inspection to ensure the site is fully remediated and safe for reoccupation. This may involve testing to confirm the absence of harmful pathogens. And then it's the importance of professional biohazard remediation. I can't ever say that word. Very good. Biohazard cleanup is a specialized field that requires expertise, specialized equipment, and adherence to strict safety protocols. Professional biohazard cleanup companies have the necessary training and experience to safely and effectively handle biohazardous materials. Someone in the comments actually was telling me how this was like their job. Like they went in and they cleaned out homes, and they said it was pretty not a very good job. I would call that probably like one of the worst jobs to have. Professionals can also handle sensitive situations such as unattended deaths or crime scenes with discretion and empathy. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's all I have. That's all I have for my presentation. And then I wanted to show you guys this because there was some stuff at the bottom that was kind of interesting. Like it was just talks about the house. So if you're just now joining us, we are just going over, you know, the crime scene, what they had to do to clean it, to get it ready for them to, you know, I guess tear the house down, because that's what they, you know, were planning on doing anyway. Now, if you guys see in this picture here, somebody said that because the screen was off of the window, they felt like their added security could have been down a little bit. Maybe, yeah, I guess you could say that, but I think it was just where they lived. They just had that sense of security. So at 1122 King Road in Moscow, this is from January 20th, 2023. So this was like a month after the first one we read came out. But it just says, sits a gray 6-bedroom, 3-bathroom house that continues to be the source of significant national attention. I wanted to actually read down here, so I'll just take us down here because we know all this stuff in the beginning up there. Okay, so it says here that the Idaho Statesman has used the affidavit to update its previous reporting on the house, which was based on photos from rental listings and documents submitted by former owners to the city of Moscow. Depictions of the floors and dimensions are approximations created by the Statesman based on that information. Greek members rent out home. Just north of the home is the university's new Greek Row, which many fraternity and sorority activities take place. That proximity meant that area was particularly popular among those involved in U of I Greek life, including sorority members Gonzalez, Kernodle, and Mogan. It's a tight-knit community. Miranda McClanahan, supervisor at Team Idaho Real Estate and Property Management, told the Statesman in a phone interview. They're on the backside of campus, right across the street from Greek Row, and those kids cycle in and out. The King Road home, 6 bedrooms, had at one time been rented as separate apartments, McClanahan had said. So remember, like they said, they weren't sure if there was like locks on the doors or if they were like key codes locks. Well, there were probably key code locks, like that kind of a lock when it was rented out as like individual apartments, which it was still individual apartments in a way because they were renting the room pretty much in the common area. But I think what they did in their case is they just split it all like, 6, it was supposed to be like 6 ways, but it ended up being 5. So the King Road home, primarily for the last 12 years, it has been rented as one unit as a single family home, she said. The house originally had 2 floors, but an owner requested to add the lowest floor in 2000. According to Moscow city permits, built into the hillside, the house has one exterior door on each floor. So the back of the house is what was there. The front of the house is what was new. I thought it was like flip-flopped for some reason. Because it says here, the house, had originally had 2 floors, but an owner requested to add the lowest floor back in 2000. So the home is 3,120 square feet. That's pretty big. And it's valued at was at $343,848 in August. And the list owner of the King Road property didn't return email. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of that because I didn't know if you guys knew that. Things thrive off grid. I'll look at it in just a little bit. Welcome in, everybody. What would a screen do to protect them? Yeah, nothing. Do you know how many screens I broke into? I could tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 at my own house, at my parents' house. My mom, my parents, my mom, if she could have beat my butt, that would have been the one time I probably would have got a butt whooping. Like I would sneak out. I would sneak back in the house. And when you have, your screens in, you have like those 2 little metal things at the bottom, like the locks that lock in. Well, if you have a butter knife or a little pocket knife or something, you can just make a little hole in the screen and then pop out those 2 locks and then the screen comes off. And if the window was unlocked, which sometimes they were, I got in. I had to sneak in, Sometimes you just had to sneak in, which I don't know why I was sneaking in. Didn't need to. I don't know. Maybe I felt like going through a window. I don't know. I don't know why I did go through the window, but I did. And my mom was like, I cannot believe you did this to my windows. It was just a screen. So this I found, they have 1.49 million subscribers. It's called Crime Scene Cleaning is the YouTube channel. If you guys are into that kind of stuff, they have all kinds of behind the scenes cleaning, and it's a mess. It's a mess. So this is only a couple minutes long, but I'm going to put the video link in the chat, and then I'll pause it here and there too. So this is going to be a girl's going to come on. She's going to, I don't want to like, trigger warn you guys. She's cleaning up it like biohazards from a scene. You don't see any like dead people or anything like that. It's just like a little blood. But I'm pretty sure she like puts the chemical on it like right away. So you don't really see it. So I just wanted to warn you guys. And if you're just now joining us, don't forget, if you guys don't mind, to hit the like button. If you want to become a member, I will grab the link. I always usually pin it at the top, but I forgot to do that today. So look at that. Mandy's been a member for a month. Well, thank you. Perfect time. And look at that. I said member and she came in and used her member's milestone. Okay. So we'll play this here and I'm going to close out these other tabs.
Hey guys, we're here on a bio job. It's my first day. Now, we've already ripped off. The futon is gone. The frame is outside. We're cleaning it up. And now we have to clean up all the blood off the ground. We have the indicator.
So it sounded like she said that they took out the carpeting, like the whatever it is, like the flooring and then the baseboards to do this.
That will let us know where the blood is.
Like you can't really tell that's
so
what
when
it
it lights up like that, that's all blood. Now we take part A. We spray the part A. That way we can clean it up. This is no easy job, I'm telling you.
Now I'm going to tell you, this looks like something that I use on my grill.
No easy job. You want to scrub as hard as you can to get the blood off of the ground. This is concrete, so you got to scrub really hard. Okay. And we got to constantly keep spraying it and cleaning it up and then indicating again to see if it's clean up.
And I looked in the comment section and I was like, you know, they're right in the comment section. Let me put the link to this video in here so you guys have it. They were like, why don't you guys have like a power, like a power scrubber or something? And I'm like, yeah. This is an actual house. Yeah. Yeah. And like, did you see the painting? Oh, there's like a little kid's painting on the wall too. They have way worse videos than this. They have like some that are like gory. I was like, I can't show that. Like, this doesn't really look like much.
Clean that part up.
Don't you think she would have something over her head though too? Me, glasses? How many napkins are we going to use though too? I have some jokes for this one.
Always in a red bag.
Always bring a red bag.
And you spray your indicator again. So it's still indicating there's still blood, so that means we still got to scrub. This could take a very long time. Very long time.
What's a very long time?
There you go again. And you're going to keep scrubbing until you have no indication. Like over here. No indication, so it's good. That has to go around the whole floor.
Don't miss out on this.
Anybody that ever rents an apartment ever, anytime ever, say, has there been any homicides in this apartment? I'm asking. I might not. I've been living here 8 years. I may go down there and ask just tomorrow. I just, when I saw that the first time, I wanted to clean everything. But doesn't that look like something you use for your grill? So this one isn't the Idaho 4. No, this isn't the house. It's just like, this was just like a biohazard cleanup lady. But yeah, this was the most like, not gory one that I could find. Like there was some that was like, took my breath away. I was like, dang, I'm good. Not a job I want either, SSD. You know, it's a crime scene. Well, yeah, see, I think I could probably maybe, if it wasn't like, if it was like that, I could probably maybe be able to like mask up, glove. I don't know. I have OCD. It's hard to tell with me, but it was very satisfying watching her scrape that. And then when she like slid it across and, you know, you didn't see it anymore, that was satisfying to watch for me. But I was going to go through the layout of the Idaho courthouse, because let's go to the kitchen, I guess. If he came in, if Bryan Kohberger or whoever allegedly alternate perpetrator, they came in through the kitchen, I'm just trying to think of where all they would have had to have cleaned. So I guess we could start on the third floor, actually. All right, this is Kaylee's room. Let's see. This is Maddie's room. So they would have had to have taken out the baseboards, cleaned out this room, taken out the furniture. They would have had to clean the whole house, but I'm just assuming that, you know, it's probably just a direct path. This is if you go outside the bedroom. This is the second like story down. And like we were talking the other night, you know, if somebody did walk up them steps and because they heard something on the third floor, they might not have even really realized what was going on until they got around that corner to go up to that second or that third, you know, story landing. Because that wall that's right here, I just feel like this could, you know, kind of mask or muffle like the sound. But and then of course I'm sure spots of the living room, but they probably, this is probably where they put their main center or whatever to clean, like their you know, tarps and whatever down to put the rags or whatever they were done using on that. And then Xana's room's back, sorry, this way. I have you guys like at a weird angle there. It's probably, I'm at a weird angle. And then I think that they had that cart in front of the good vibe sign. So that would have illuminated things a little bit more too. If the cart was on, if it was, which I think they kept it on all the time because they had their bedroom doors usually probably closed. So that light, extra light didn't bother them. Now, if he didn't go down to the first floor, there wouldn't be much to clean probably, if, you know, if anything really down there other than the banister going down to the first story. This banister is the one that they found like biologicals on. So that would be something that they would have to clean. But this is a pretty large home. Who's getting their lashes done? Me? Not me. It was cleaned and then they bulldozed it or demolished it. 3,500 to clean a person. Baby girl, sign us up. Oh, guilty crime. That sounds, oh, yeah, that sounds pretty. Yeah, I saw a couple of those videos and I was just like, whoa, that's a lot. I mean, I don't know. I probably could do it. Let me see, actually. So you know what? I meant to pull that, actually. One of those documents was from Pennsylvania. I still had that tab up. Let's see if I can go find it now. I mean, good luck to me. I've got 50 tabs open. Let's see. I feel like I'm close. It's right here. It's just a courtroom decorum order. So you know how like it's weird that this came out today when I said, who was the lady in the tank top at the court hearing today? Like, you know, and they come out with a decorum letter. So I still had this just up. So I was like, oh, I'm going to refresh this and see, you know, if anything is on there. And there was. So we'll, and then I'll go over the Idaho documents. Let me just get this. Okay. I'm like ready to go. Okay, as I'm pulling this up, we'll play this. I'll play this last video here. That way you guys can see them like bringing out the stuff.
Earlier today, police also started removing some of the victims' personal belongings from the crime scene. Moscow police say the families have been asking for some of those items back, and investigators say they're things that are no longer needed for their investigation.
Come to Amanda Rowley joining us live from the house tonight with what law enforcement said is the next step in this investigation. Amanda?
Yeah, well, the Moscow Police Department sends out daily updates on this murder investigation. Most of the time, it focuses on addressing rumors surrounding this case. But today's update was the first descriptive tip that they've released in several days. Detectives are now asking to speak with anyone who is inside a white Hyundai Elantra that was near this home on King Road on November 13th. They believe the people in that car may have critical information regarding this case. Meanwhile, I've been at this house all day today. Early this morning, I watched as Moscow police officers boxed up personal belongings and loaded up a U-Haul to return the items that belong to those students back to their families. At the request of the students' families, Moscow police collected their personal belongings from the home on King Road. Chief James Fry says it was important for him to personally be there with his officers, helping box up these items so they could, in a sense, be there for the family and give them back the items that might help them heal. The chief himself drove the U-Haul into the driveway. Police officers arrived early in the morning to pack up the students' things. By noon, they finished loading the boxes onto the truck. This is not something police typically do, but Idaho State Police spokesperson Aaron Snell says in this case, it was appropriate.
We've had the crime scene for quite some time, and the family would like back some of those belongings. There's undoubtedly some sentimental issues, and I think it will help with a little bit of the healing, and we want to be part of that process. We want to help them. We don't want to keep holding on to items that really aren't needed for the investigation.
This afternoon, Moscow PD shared a major new development in the investigation. They want to speak with anyone who was inside the white Hyundai Elantra with an unknown license plate that was near the King Road home on November 13th. The department shared these images of the car they're looking for. Detectives believe the people in that car may have critical information to share regarding this case. Investigators are asking the public to use the tip line with information about the people who may have driven this car leading up to or following the day of the murders. Now, today, there was no sign of any immediate family members of the students who lived here at this home on King Road, but we do know the U-Haul that was loaded up with the students' personal belongings have been taken to a secure location, and Moscow PD is currently communicating with the family to return those items to them. Mark, Whitney?
Amanda, thank you very much. You've also covered crime in our region for quite a long time right now. Have you ever seen police make such an effort to give belongings back to families?
I haven't. In the 5 years I've covered crime in the Inland Northwest, I've never seen that, but I've also never seen a crime scene held this long in the hands of investigators. And it really just speaks to the complexity and uniqueness of this case. But I also think it speaks to really the connection the city of Moscow has with University of Idaho and its student body. They've taken this time to really take that extra step to try and give some peace of mind to these families in any way they can. Amanda Rowley, Crime 2 News.
Convicted child molester.
Didn't mean to do that. Okay. I was looking at the stuff that you guys sent, and then the thing I found on Twitter. So let's see. I did see where her husband was killed. We'll go over that. Maybe we'll do like a live in the morning. Maybe we could probably do something of it now. Okay. So we'll go through the documents and then we'll do that. How about that? I've got so much on my mind. I'm like, so much. So if you missed the court proceedings today, I'll give you a rundown. Basically, Anne got up there and she talked about how she has over 60 terabytes of information now, and she still hasn't went through it. And there's just no way that she's possibly going to be ready for trial. And she didn't hire anybody to help her, and she hasn't touched it, I guess. I don't know. She was able to do like she did get in all of her expert witnesses though for like the penalty phase, which was kind of weird. She's working like backwards. I don't know. She's doing something weird. So then the state went up and they presented a PowerPoint presentation of such and said the reasons why they feel like, trial needs to go on, and that there are things that are going to be coming out in the media and on TV or, being streamed, and that there's, it's just going to happen. So we might as well just go ahead and start the proceedings, start with trial. So the judge said he was going to write a short order response. I was like, you are not going to tell us today what? And he said he would let us know. So we're waiting on that. But he said pretty much the same verbatim, but he said, pretend like we're going towards trial. Like he's like, think of August 11th as like the trial date. So I think that, I think that they're going to be heading towards trial. Actually, you know what? There was a longer document up here. So maybe we'll read that tonight and then go over, MM stuff tomorrow. So basically, this is just simple. These are the people that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has to subpoena because they don't want to, apparently, they're not down with, coming over to Idaho to testify. So they are all having hearings. They all have a hearing scheduled to see if they will be, in fact, subpoenaed to go. Now, I'm going to read this, and I hope everybody hears this, because this is how you should act when you're in a courtroom. Also, dress like you're, business casual, at least. I don't know. Like, don't wear a tank top into court. That's just don't. I sound like my mother the older I get. Decorum order. I blame her. So if you want to blame someone, blame my mom for the way I act. And now this 13th day of June, 2025, after consultation with the Administrative Office of the Pennsylvania Courts and the Monroe County Sheriff, it is ordered as follows. This order shall apply to the conduct of all scheduled court proceedings held in these cases in the Monroe County Courthouse. 2, these provisions noted as mandatory shall be applied by the court and enforced accordingly by the sheriff. The provisions noted as informational are intended to provide guidance to reporters and members of the general public who will be attending any of the court proceedings. Oh, that would be kind of cool. How far are you? I think that's like a good ways from me. I think it's like a good 8 hours. So mandatory. All reporters and members of the general public must enter the courthouse through the Monroe Street entrance. Security screening will take place there and at the entrance to the courtroom as required by the sheriff. Reporters and members of the general public will begin to be admitted to the courthouse 45 minutes before the start of the hearing. Admission will close 5 minutes before the hearing starts, except as authorized by the sheriff. All reporters and members of the public must be seated before the proceedings begins. The following applies to all persons attending a court proceeding. Reporters will be permitted to use laptops, electronic tablets, or similar devices in the courtroom for the sole purpose of note-taking, transmission form, or recording by laptops, electronic tablets, or any electronic device in the courtroom is prohibited. Members of the general public and the media are permitted to carry cell phones in the courthouse, but all such devices must be turned off before entering the courtroom, except as permitted in subparagraph 4E. Any use of internet or telephone service for transmission from the courthouse is prohibited. Electronic transmission, video, and or sound recording, or any other electronic duplication via cell phone or similar device is prohibited in the courthouse. No photography, videography, or recording device of any type may be used on the second or third floors of the courthouse, except as specifically approved by the court. No news media interview shall be conducted on the second or third floors of the courthouse. Must have a pretty decent courthouse. Reporters must use the juror room to prepare and file stories before and after the court hearing. The number of reporters permitted in the jury room at any given time may be limited at the direction of the sheriff to ensure facilities are not overtaxed. All reporters are reminded that they shall not electronically transmit stories, pictures, or video anywhere in the courthouse except as provided in this subparagraph. No camera tripod setups will be permitted in the courthouse or along any of the sidewalks surrounding the courthouse. The sheriff of Monroe County in consultation with the court, shall have authority to make such reasonable rules and regulations as may be required to provide adequate security intended to assure the safety of all those in the courthouse and on the courthouse grounds, as well as the orderly conduct of any court proceeding. These regulations may include, but are not limited to, the following. No person will be permitted to bring backpacks, large purses, or satchels of any kind into the courtroom except as authorized by the sheriff. No person will be permitted to bring food or beverages into the courtroom. No person shall, or except those authorized by the court, will be permitted beyond the bar of the courtroom. Any person who violates the provision of this order is subject to penalties for contempt of court. In addition, any reporter and the news organization the reporter represents may be prohibited from attendance for the remainder of the proceeding. And then informational, upon entering the courthouse and the courtroom, reporters must present credentials from their media outlet, which must include a photo. Those who do not have media credentials with a photo must present their media credential together with another valid identification. Limited parking is available near the courthouse. Reporters and members of the public who will be attending a court hearing shall allow ample time to find parking and make their way to the courthouse. Like, do we really have to write this out for adults? Be there on time? Like, you know what I mean? Leave your house with enough time to get parking? I don't know. Reporters are reminded that Pennsylvania law prohibits parking within 15 feet of a fire hydrant, within 20 feet of a crosswalk at an intersection, and otherwise parking in a manner that prevents vehicles from traveling on the streets. Damage caused to county and or borough property will be reported to law enforcement. The courthouse will be open 8 a.m. and the hearings are currently scheduled for 9 a.m. in courtroom 6. Inquiries regarding court processes and procedures may be directed to the Administrative Office of Pennsylvania Court, Stacy Wetzelek, Director of Communications and spokesperson. Okay. They didn't say when, though. Like when? They just said 9 o'clock. You're not going to tell us? Okay, there it is. Oh, that's the date that they did this. I don't know. I'll have to find that out for you guys. Maybe they're all different. Like, they're scheduling orders. Oh, here it is. June 30th, 9 o'clock. It's coming up. Right, Tom? I know. That would be nice to go to be in that courtroom. Right, Austin? I'll be like ready. I'll be like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let me in. Let me in the door. I'll be like Brian Enton. I said I'd super glue myself to him. I mean, I really would too. He has the cutest dogs. Yeah, the hearing's on at 6:30, so it'd be 6:30, 9 a.m. Okay. Well, let's write that down, you know. I'll write this down. I'll be like, what's that mean? Later on. So we'll put Brian. Now let's see what we had over here. This is an update. Gloria Fisher versus James Mackey. Jimmy's her boyfriend. Got it. I'm like, I'm figuring. I just saw. Okay, so let me open these in like new tabs so I can. Okay, so this is the complainant. It was filed 4/28/2025. This is the one that I saw, and then so we'll go over. Actually, I wanted to go over these tomorrow, didn't I? Yeah, I don't think there's really anything. Let me see. State of Idaho. Let's see what we got over here first. Sorry, my brain's like not working well tonight. But we'll get there. We will get there. So we have stuff that is sealed. Defendants replied to the state's opposition to defendant's motion to continue. What? She had something to say after court? Is that what that's saying? 19 pages worth? Okay. Let's see what they've got to say. Let's see what they've got to say. And then we will, I'll come on. I'll even come on during the day tomorrow because it's going to be raining here tomorrow, like all day. I'm not I don't like that. So I'll come on and I'll do like a day live sometime and we'll go over all this stuff that I can find out about MM and maybe we can, help her in a way. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm just like pinning everything really quick. Okay, so just remember June 30th, 9 a.m. court hearing. I don't know if it doesn't look like they're going to be broadcasting that live, but they may have documents afterwards that come out. So we'll talk about it that evening. Now, this is the first document that came up. I want to make sure. Yeah, that's what it says. Okay. So I'm going to grab my glasses because this one's a long one. Okay. Oh my goodness. What is that? What the heck's all over these things? I don't even take them out of the case ever, other than to wear them. I must have touched my like thing. Yeah, because it's like still kind of weird. So okay, I'll read until I have to mess with it again. So comes now Bryan. This is from Bryan's side, the defense's side, and this is basically the defense went today and they went up and they said their piece. And then the state went up and said their piece. Well, then I swear we saw Ann Taylor go back up again. And I don't remember seeing the prosecution go up again, right? But she has something to say. Defendants replied to the state's opposition to defendant's motion to continue. So maybe this is kind of what she said today, but we'll go through it. We'll see what she has to say. And these glasses are just too freaking messed up to read. Like, it's just the wrong eyes. Like, if this was the other one, we'd be fine. Wouldn't bother me. It's the one I actually could see out of. There we go. So comes now Bryan C. Kohberger, by and through his attorney of record, and hereby submits his reply to the state's opposition to defendant's motion to continue filed with the court on June 5th, 2025. The state's objection to Mr. Kohberger's motion invites irreversible error. Prosecutors have an ethical and legal obligation to seek justice over convictions. I'm like skipping, like whenever you see, I see like an Idaho code, I just kind of skip that. So when defense counsel requires a continuance to complete the constitutionally required mitigation investigation, the state has no legitimate interest in the objecting for any conviction and or death sentence obtained under such circumstances would rest on a constitutionally defective foundation. Whew, she's blaming the state. As such, courts reviewing death sentences have recognized that when an attorney error amounts to constitutionally ineffective assistance of counsel, that error is imputed to the state. Okay. For when the state obtains a conviction against a defendant who was denied the effective assistance of counsel, it is the state that unconstitutionally deprives the defendant of his liberty. Is she going to quit on us? This is craziness. I mean, she did. Could she? Can she? I don't know. Wouldn't that be weird though? If she did like if she said, I can't assist him. I haven't been through the documents. I can't do it. I quit. I mean, I wonder what would happen then. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah. So compliance with the court scheduling order does not fulfill Mr. Kohberger's right to effective assistance of counsel in a capital case. The state suggests that counsel's prior compliance with the court scheduling order somehow weighs against the present request for a continuance. But defense counsel adherence to guidelines demonstrates diligence, not finality. Compliance was a good faith effort to meet the court's expectations, not a concession that the defense investigation is complete. The defense now has identified information and developments that make clear additional time is necessary to meet the minimum standards of effective assistance of counsel under Strickland v. Washington. Okay. If we go towards trial, then I'm going to say that the judge was like, there's no alternate perpetrator. Like, that she didn't bring me evidence of that. Do you know what I mean? But if he says, well, maybe we need to step back a little bit, then maybe, That would be something to look at. The fact that prior deadlines were met does not somehow negate the need for a continuance where the timeline is insufficient to complete the investigation and presentation of a constitutionally adequate penalty phase defense. Defense counsel has provided a detailed showing of good cause and necessity, including specific investigative avenues that case law explicitly establishes as constitutionally required in a capital case through an ex parte pleading and an accompanying affidavit from the mitigation specialist. The purpose of the ex parte pleading was to provide the court with this critical context without revealing privileged work product that the trial strategy to the prosecution. So you have a trial strategy going. The court is therefore appraised of the scope and necessity of the additional investigation, and the record does not support the state's assertion that all relevant ground has already been plowed. Mr. Kohberger's case has been pending for less than 2.5 years. This is a short duration compared to other capital cases. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June. No, it's not less than 2.5. It's more than that. The state's suggestion that defendant is seeking a perpetual continuance mischaracterizes the request. I'm gonna no, Ann, no, you did not. No, we read what you said. You wanted an indefinite continuance. I remember reading that. The defense is not seeking an indefinite delay. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go back and find that. I'm gonna go back and find that paper. Like, it was just the last court hearing. Because I remember reading that and I'm like, she wants an indefinite delay? Like, It is seeking a reasonable and necessary adjustment to the trial schedule to allow constitutionally required mitigation investigation to be completed. The absence of a proposed new trial date simply reflects that the next appropriate step would be for the court to vacate the current trial date and then enter a revised scheduling order based on input from all parties, as it is customary. Well, I don't think that the state needs any more time. It is both common and appropriate in capital cases for trial schedules to be revisited as new facts emerge or as the defense becomes aware that essential tasks cannot be completed in the time originally allotted. The defense identified specific areas of investigation that are outstanding and has submitted those to the court's ex parte for review. The precise amount of time needed will depend in part on the results of those ongoing efforts. The state's assertion that over 2 years should be presumed sufficient time ignores the law and the practical realities of capital litigation and the high-profile nature of this case. The Sixth Amendment right to effective assistance of counsel does not impose a rigid calendar requirement. It guarantees a meaningful opportunity for counsel to prepare and investigate under the facts and complexity of the individual case. Denying this continuance based solely on the passage of time without considering the specific barriers, scope of investigation, and recent developments would be abuse of discretion. What did you bring? Like, I mean, really, like, why would that? I hate that hearing was sealed today. Like, because I mean, if you had something, don't you think she would have brought it before 2.5 years? However, even engaging with the state's flawed argument, 2 years and 3 months. What is she talking about? It's not been 2 years and 3 months. Oh, between indictment and trial. Well, between when he was arrested, it's been over 2.5 years. Since the indictment and trial is less time than many run-of-the-mill capital case that are not high profile. The Federal Death Penalty Resource Council tracks federal capital cases and published a resource in 2021 tracking the amount of time it took for cases brought to trial between 2010 and 2020. Prior to the pandemic, which slowed everything down, the average time between indictment and the beginning of trial was 1,299 days or 3.55 years. That was what she argued today. I don't need to see that. It says, and recent high-profile capital cases have taken longer to get to trial. For example, defendant Nicholas Cruz in Florida was pre-trial for more than 4 years. This is true even though he pled guilty, leaving the penalty decision of life without parole or death penalty as the sole issue to be decided. This capital case is extraordinary, both in complexity and media attention. Mr. Kohberger's case is not an ordinary capital case. The defense has had to navigate extraordinary barriers, including reluctant or traumatized lay witnesses. Why are they traumatized? From what? Difficulty in retaining qualified experts. It's not because it's highly publicized and controversial case. That's not it. And it's because you have junk science. I'm calling it like it is. This would make somebody's like career to be, even if they were on the defense, to say like, this is like, to be able to sit up there and spout off everything that you know and that you're an expert witness. Like, I mean, even Jose Baez was, before he had Case Anthony, he wasn't like a nobody. And then he got her case, he got the not guilty verdict, and look what happened. So where were we at? Where were we? It says, including violations of court orders that have required legal and strategic attention and logistical delays on a complex mitigation investigation across multiple institutions and jurisdictions. Even though 3.5 years represents an average pretrial timeline in capital litigation, that average does not account for the added complexity, resistance, and logistical challenges inherent in this case. At the current trial setting, Mr. Kohberger's case will be less than 2 years and 3 months from indictment, rushing this case to trial on a schedule that is both shorter than average capital cases and without flexibility to account for the added complexity will compromise the fundamental rights guaranteed to Mr. Kohberger under the 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments and make any resulting conviction and or death sentence vulnerable to reversal. Now just going to go into the Dateline episode, which that Dateline episode, some of that stuff was already out. Some of it wasn't, but some of it was. Now, do I think more is going to come out if we don't go to trial like in August? Probably. They'll probably have another Dateline episode by next year. But I mean, it's the news. It's not going to stop. So it says the defense is not asking for a continuance based on, let me read this. The state's argument that the Dateline episode does not require a continuance and that in fact proceeding to trial as scheduled may actually avoid any negative consequences from future publicity. Completely misses the point. The defense is not asking for a continuance based on the ordinary publicity that attends high-profile criminal proceedings such as coverage of court dates and public filings. This is something wholly different. So you realize just as many eyes that are looking at you, Anne, they're looking at Bill, right? Like those same people are looking at Bill and his team, so. This is a highly dramatized TV special, complete with ominous music and narrations. Oh, ominous music. I haven't heard that. For first-person testimonials, Fox experts, and non-public information that was leaked in violation of the court's non-dissemination order. It was a choreographed narrative broadcast to millions of viewers and advertised to millions more. It aired nationally and was promoted heavily across commercial breaks, streaming platforms, and social media, maximizing its visibility and impact. It was designed to provoke strong emotional reactions, which is exactly the influence that taints jury pools and risks depriving Mr. Kohberger of a fair trial. Does she know that she's got someone coming all the way from from another country, across the world, coming to see her client? Worse still, a book that claims to contain the most comprehensive narrative of the investigation and evidence to date is set to be published on July 14th, 2025. It promises information based on interviews with local law enforcement. Its release will almost certainly trigger another wave of media coverage just 2 weeks before jury selection is set to begin. And if the publisher claims are accurate, that coverage will likely include non-public information presented not under oath or subject to cross-examination, but packaged in a narrative designed to provoke public interest and sell books. We'll be reading it. If the book contains new leaks, a further investigation into the source of those disclosures will be necessary. You don't need another further investigation. You just investigate it all at once. The book is not the end of what is to come as the trial begins as currently scheduled. Amazon Prime Video is releasing a docuseries on July 11, 2025 called One Night in Idaho, The College Murders. It is a 4-part series, and we'll be playing that on our Discord. It promises to be told in a captivating, tense, and emotionally wrenching detail by people who are likely to be witnesses in trial. The families of Ethan Chapin and Madison Morgan are extensively interviewed for the series, according to press materials and the trailer. Further, James Patterson, author of the aforementioned book, is noted as one of the directors and producers of the docuseries. These publications, dispersed at the time trial begins, will capture untold attention and will be media fodder, especially as witness in this capital trial take the stand. Then you sequester. Thus, the appropriate remedy is to investigate the sources of the violation and impose accountability. Oh, because she needs more time. Not to force this case to trial in the shadow of tainted public disclosure. Or discourse, sorry, public discourse. Time will both allow this court to reassert control over the fairness of the proceedings by imposing accountability, which will communicate the seriousness of the violation and the importance of the fair process, and will allow the effects of this particularized and inflammatory coverage to subside. It ain't going to subside. We're still talking about crap that happened 2 years ago. Like, it's not, I mean, it's not until we go to trial. No, people are not going to stop talking about this case. I mean, you know, just, it sucks, but sucks for Ann, but we're not going to, I mean, we've been talking about it this long. And I mean, like, I would understand if I was Ann and and I'm going to say it, I was making $200 an hour to defend Bryan. He's probably not given her a lot to work with either. I mean, you know, he doesn't seem like a talker. So maybe she's trying to build a case based on, I like to sit out in the woods when it's cold and overcast. And that's all, maybe that's what he's told her. I mean, he acts like he trusts her though and everything. I mean, you know, like the smiles and stuff here and there, like, you know, he like and I'm glad that he has that, like someone that like he can have, you know, to trust or whatever, but maybe she doesn't have a lot to work with. He gave her permission to get his TV. I know. Like he was like he's going to use that again. I mean, maybe someday, you know, allegedly, but like, yeah, get my TV. You can leave the tower there, the computer tower, but don't forget my TV. Because this is an odd objection to the ordinary media coverage of this case, the prosecution's assertion that proceeding now will avoid further prejudice only holds true if one accepts beliefs and violations of court orders will continue. This is not a valid presumption on which to base denial of a continuance. It is a reason for investigation and enforcement. It would be patently unfair for the state's case to be bolstered through the prejudicial coverage that resulted from state's actors violating the court's non-dissemination order, and then to use that unlawful conduct as a justification for rushing to trial both before the defense can learn where the leaks originated and before the defense is ready. We don't know for sure that they came from the state. They could have. The leaks could have came from the state. But she's making this like that it did. Like that it, like it's, you know what I mean? And that's not good. Additionally, a thorough investigation into the leaks must occur prior to any trial because it now constitutes a known source of Brady material. Interviews with Dateline producers by Idaho news outlets indicate that it was likely multiple sources who leaked sealed information to the media. I think it was one person. Personally, I really do. I just don't see them getting that many people to talk. Like, if any of these unlawful leaks originated from witnesses the state intends to call or from others involved in the investigation, that information is relevant to impeaching their credibility. If the leaks were ongoing and collective, it would tend to show a willingness of investigators to violate court orders, bias against the defendant, or even collusion, which is not only relevant to credibility, but may be exculpatory in nature. Man, she's going hard. And if the investigation reveals that other state agents had information about the leaks but failed to disclose it, the omission itself would constitute a Brady violation requiring considerable consideration of remedies. Okay, this information leaking out, who is this benefiting right now? Like, who could benefit from this information getting out? I don't see the state benefiting from this, right? I don't. Because of this right here. We knew she was going to say impartial jury, can't get a jury, won't be able to get a jury. 600,000 people, can't get 20 of them. To say that, like, that's how much faith that she has in that town, in that county. That there are that many people that live in that county, and she doesn't think that they can get 20 that could be impartial. I mean, you know, that's not good to probably say, but constitutes a Brady violation, she's saying. So, okay. Of course, the identity, motives, and actions of those who violated the court's order are key to the jury's determination of the facts because this case hinges on whether the police investigation was conducted in a reliable manner or whether it zoomed in on the defendant at the expense of all other suspects. And you know, this was more than just one police agency, right? This was across state lines. Marshals and everybody. In short, the prejudice from the Dateline episode requires a continuance both because of the resulting prejudice that is separate and apart from the ordinary media coverage, and because trial cannot go forward without a thorough investigation into which person or persons leaked case information and numerous sealed photographs and videos to the media. So that's why she wants a continuance now. Okay. First of all, she wasn't ready. Now she's saying because of the Dateline episode. Okay. So the state asserts that the court's carefully crafted jury selection process has every chance to produce an impartial jury. To the contrary, the court has only scheduled 2 weeks for voir dire, which is wholly insufficient to conduct the necessary individual voir dire on the vast media coverage as well as death penalty views. Given the popularity of Dateline and the intense public interest in this case, it is not speculative to assume that a significant portion of the jury pool has been exposed to the recent show, either directly or through previews, headlines, or word of mouth. They might have seen it, but that's not the point. They can watch whatever they want. Like they could see whatever they can see, right? But when they're on the jury, they're asked, can you put everything that you've seen aside and give this man a fair trial? And as Americans, we have that right to be on the jury and make that decision. And so, it's not the defense position that no fair jury can ever be impaneled in this case, only that under the current schedule, and in light of this development, the safeguards in place are not sufficient to ensure that process. Relying on voir dire alone, particularly in such a compressed format, is not adequate to protect Mr. Kohberger's right to impartial jury under the 6th and 14th Amendment. So before the Dateline, you were cool though? Mr. Kohberger must also be able to conduct expansive voir dire and not be limited to short time frames and large panels. Constitutionally, appropriate voir dire in a capital case takes time. Mr. Kohberger must have the necessary time to determine a potential juror's ability, to sit on a highly publicized capital case. Why are you making it like it's his decision? He doesn't get to pick the jury. You do. The ABA guidelines define the prevailing professional norms for effective assistance and are statutorily adopted in Idaho. So the state argues that the court need not consider the ABA guidelines for the appointment and performance of defense counsel and authority. It gives the cases they're citing. First, the state mischaracterizes Hall versus State, which does not address the ABA guideline at all. The only time the ABA guidelines are mentioned in a parenthetical explaining State versus Porter. The court's narrow holding in Hall, which is the Idaho law applies standard discovery practices in capital cases, is a post-conviction posture, has no bearing on this case. The state's other cited case in State versus Porter in 1997, case in which the Idaho Supreme Court declined to adopt the ABA guidelines. This case predates later U.S. Supreme Court case law that specifically cites the ABA guidelines as evidence that courts rely on when determining whether trial counsel's performance met the constitutional threshold. Thus, the fact that the guidelines are not adopted as binding law in Porter does not diminish their authority as a reflection of the professional consensus about prevailing professional norms. The holding isn't unusual. The guidelines have not been adopted as binding law by any state Supreme Court. However, the Idaho Public Defender Statute 23 requires the state public defender to implement the ABA guidelines for defending attorneys delivering indigent defense. The guidelines, therefore, have even more force in Idaho than elsewhere, though in any jurisdiction, they are the most authoritative source of counsel professional duties in a capital case. Post-conviction courts will use them as a highly persuasive authority when evaluating whether counsel conducted an adequate mitigation investigation, whether appropriate experts were consulted, and whether the defense team performed consistent with capital defense norms. The state also relies on a quote from Cullen and Pinholzer that omits critical context beyond the general requirement of reasonableness. Specific guidelines are not appropriate. The next sentence states that this is because no particular set of detailed rules for counsel's conduct can satisfactorily take account for the variety of circumstances faced by defense counsel or the range of legitimate decisions. It goes on to reassess counsel's duty to conduct reasonable investigations under the circumstances and the importance of looking to standards for professional practice at the time of trial. that the ABA guidelines will not be read to constitute per se violations of the Sixth Amendment does nothing to advance the state's argument. It does not undermine the relevance of the ABA guidelines in assessing prevailing professional norms and the reasonableness of counsel's investigation and performance. The state does not and can't cite authority holding otherwise. A continuance is necessary to enforce Mr. Kohberger's state and federal constitutional rights, and those cannot be overridden by the victim's rights provision. Oh, she's going to get me mad on this one, because the victims do have a right. Let me get you a little drink. The state asserts that the court should deny a continuance based on the victim's constitutional rights to a timely deposition. And it gives the article number of the Idaho Constitution, but that provision does not and cannot override the defendant's fundamental constitutional rights, including the rights to a fair trial and the effective assistance of counsel under the 6th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution and article of the Idaho Constitution. She's gonna quit. Now, I wonder, like, if she quits, I guess her second chair would just go up, right? But I don't know. They were making it sound like she was the only one that was death penalty qualified. So I wonder what, like, can she do that? Yeah, 3 sides, that's, yeah. And they have the same rights as Kohberger. The right to a timely hearing, like timely hearings. So you can't just, the thing with me is, like, stop giving them a court date, right? Stop saying that we're going to trial on this date. If you're going to do this to these families again, don't give them a date. Just don't even give them one, you know? And we'll see what they have to say too. If they said anything today, the family. So Mr. Kohberger's fundamental constitutional rights are not in tension with the interest of victims. They are essential to ensuring that any outcome is fair and reliable. Well, they didn't have a fair or reliable outcome. A constitutionally sound process, which includes adequate time to develop for cause challenges during voir dire in a capital case, is the only one that can serve the interests of all parties, including the victims and the public. Timelessness is also context dependent. The state voluntarily elected to seek the death penalty, knowing full well that doing so would trigger more demanding investigative and procedural obligations, including a comprehensive mitigation investigation and heightened constitutional standards. It's your fault. You wanted the death penalty. That's what she just said there. That decision necessarily guaranteed a longer, more complex pretrial process and a guarantee that the victims' families would have to wait longer for resolution. These are not unforeseen consequences. They are inherent to the state's pursuit of the most severe punishment available. Well, he did the most severe crime available. If the state believes that the wait is too long or that the required procedural rigor is incompatible with the preferred timeline, it has the ability to withdraw its notice of intent to seek death. Oh, you dirty bee. Oh, she's playing dirty. Bill Thompson, don't do it. Don't do it. I know you want to retire, buddy. Don't you do it. You hold on. You hold on, Bill. Hold on, Bill. She says, What? If the state believes that the wait is too long or that the required procedural rigor is incompatible with its preferred timeline, it has the ability to withdraw its notice to intend to seek the death. So just take the death penalty off the table and we'll go ahead, because you're ready to go. I'm not ready, but if you take the death penalty off, maybe she'll be ready. It's your fault that you put the death penalty there on him, right? And it's wrong that you want to take it to trial in August, that you're ready. A continuance is necessary if the case remains capital, notwithstanding the state's superficial chart. The chart merely lists broad topic areas and claims that the defense has some related records. That says nothing about whether the defense has completed important specific investigation avenues or is in a position to present that information coherently and effectively at trial. Oh gosh, you have nothing. The repetitive assertions that family members can testify about this topic at trial and any missing records have been available to defendant can be obtained prior to the penalty phase. Likewise, no wait. This ignores the complexity of securing reliable testimony that has been investigated or corroborated and the real world barriers to obtaining records. Why isn't your ass on a plane to Pennsylvania? Like, why haven't you been to Pennsylvania? Have you met Bryan Kohberger's parents? I mean, if you're getting paid $200 an hour, your butt better be on a charter plane to Pennsylvania and be sitting in my parents' living room drinking coffee, learning all about me. That's just me. The states, and I can show you what the inside of a Pennsylvania home looks like. The state service level examination of significant barriers and proposed method of mitigation presentation by the defense is exactly what would result in reversal as explained in the motion to continue. Constitutionally, effective mitigation, investigation, and presentation requires a process that advances as new details emerge, contextualize, and trust building with sources, none of which the state accounts for. What have you been doing? You said you didn't look at any of the evidence. You haven't met his parents. You haven't been out there to like interview people. What are we doing? I mean, are we just having tea time with the Kohberger? Like, I mean, vegan lunches or something? I don't know. Mr. Kohberger's motion to continue is grounded in the need for a full investigation for all mitigating factors reasonably present in his background, as well as his right to present each mitigating factors in his capital case so that the jury has the information necessary to meet an individualized sentencing determination. Further, the motion is grounded in Mr. Kohberger's right to a fair and impartial jury. As such, his motion to continue must be granted to protect his rights under the state and United States constitutions. Oh, Anne. Okay, so then we got the motion to seal exhibits to state supplemental response to request for discovery regarding expert testimony. And it just says what it usually says. I'm just seeing if there's anything that's like, because release or disclosure would disclose information not known to the public, which could interfere with the court's ability to select a fair and impartial jury. Okay. So that one wasn't anything. This is state supplemental response to request for discovery regarding expert testimony. Okay. Oh, it just says this. Oh, okay. It says that they want to bring in expert, which the state may introduce at trial. And it is anticipated the state may call Dr. Christian Westring. Who are you? What kind of doctor? The state respectfully submits. Okay, what's his name? Christian Westring. What was the last name? Let's see if I could like look it up. PhD, Lockport, New York. Oh, he's like is he like a crime scene guy? Hold on a second. Laboratory director at Niagara County Sheriff. Hold on. Christian Westring. Westring, is that, am I saying it right? Yeah. But he's not a doctor. Well, no, he is. I'm trying to find him without like signing into my LinkedIn. Okay, I don't want to sign into my LinkedIn because it's like under my name. Okay, there's like Purdue University. Let's go this one. Coupling forensic casework with continuing education. This guy. Director of PNW Center for Crime Forensic and Security Analysis, is a forensic geneticist with more than 15 years of experience in forensic science. Through his passion for molecular biology and complex problem solving, he applies new innovations in the field of forensic genetics to benefit law enforcement investigations and public safety. He specializes in cold case investigations, applying novel scientific techniques for solving complex crimes. Well, looky there. Okay. Well, that's what he looks like. Looks like he's got a little outfit like Bryan Kohberger could be wearing, like the jacket part anyway. Okay. Now we'll go back to the, all right, I think we don't need to share this anymore, but yeah, so states exhibit states 1 and states 1A and B. Well, we know what you do now. Order sealing exhibits to state supplemental response for requests for discovery. Okay. And then order sealing states ex parte filings, out of state witnesses. Let's see this. Motion to seal the ex parte filings. So are those ones? I mean, I think we've already went over them. So a little late if those are the ones from Pennsylvania. Okay. I think that's all of them. Because I don't think I got an email from you. Okay. So we'll go over the Molly stuff tomorrow. I wanted to look at the Gonzalez's page, see if they wrote anything. Well, apparently they liked it. They quoted Judge Hippler. I would tell you that it's likely that you're going to trial on the date that's been indicated. So that's good. That's good. Like, especially the last time we read something from the Gonzalez's page. That was heartbreaking. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you like this family or not. But I mean, a mom, a heartbroken mother, they'll get me every time. No, they're not going to take the death penalty off the table. I don't think. I mean, I think they would if Bryan said, I'll tell you everything, but I doubt it. I mean, they haven't so far. They haven't given him a deal. They haven't offered him a deal at all. Like, so I don't think they're going to. So I don't think that they're going to. But I think that's all of the. Seeing if there's anything else. I might keep that guy's little thing up here. I might have to read up about him. I guess he has students actively participate in applied scientific research. Well, look at that. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I was gonna say next hearing, but we don't know. Yeah, no, I thought Baby Girl, I don't think they will either. I think that if they would, I don't know. I think that if they wanted to, they could, but I don't think that they're going to. I think that they would have already. And just stay strong, Bill. Just stay strong, Bill Thompson. Just stay strong. I know that you're probably ready for retirement. I'm sure of it. I probably would be too after this case, but look at that. Remember for 10 months, Nash. I didn't get his email. I didn't get an email. I don't think I did anyway. But I said I would look at them tomorrow. I'm not going to pull up a bunch of stuff that I don't know anything about tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that because I want to read through stuff. Plus, I have stuff that I pulled anyway from that case. And there's only certain things I want to put out. So I wanted to redact if there's like case files. I was looking at it and I kind of want to redact the names, even though I said Jimmy. I said his name. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes redaction is good in cases, even if it's just me doing it. I've done it before. I was the only one that redacted during Sebastian's case, Granny and barbecues. They're like 156 page or whatever we read off, but I redacted all their names and I was like, and no one else did. And I was like, you guys are dirty. So yeah, if you want to send me the email, yeah, I'll look at the emails tomorrow. But I already have some information on her. I have I have the complaints and I have all of her case summaries and let's see, more updates are from 6/18 and his death and stuff, her husband. So But let me see. I think that's all I have. So yeah, just remember 6:30 at 9 a.m. They're going to have a court hearing in Monroe, Pennsylvania. They have like five people subpoenaed to go to court that day to see if they have to go to Idaho. And maybe they will put it out on, I'm sure they're going to put it on the PA website that evening or the next day. I'll make sure I keep my eye out for it. And I'll come on tomorrow during the afternoon. And we will, oh my Jesus, is he really? That's not him. That's not him. Yeah, that's, let's see. We'll go, I have to go like the back way. Yeah, they just made this page. Man, y'all check mods. Okay, when someone comes in and I say that's not him, you know, like check the name. Like if you think it's a troll or if you think it's somebody, check their like this right here. Check their page. This isn't him. This is like W12Y7Q. Like see how this is different? And then now he has a description, but he didn't have a description. Look, now joined May 25th, 2024. This account was made, the real William was made back in 2018, I believe. So good try, though. Good try. Do you want to come up? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to invite you. Oh, you have to do it on a computer on your phone, I think. It just takes me a while to do it. So it's hard for me to like, you know, to do that. Especially if I'm like in the middle of a live. But yeah, Bill, that's not you. But if it was you, Bill, I would tell you to come up. And I would say, let's go over your videos. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just did. I did, Mary Beth. I dropped the link. That was the first thing I did. It's not him. Here, let me go. This is bad. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Right here. Okay. So the guy that just came in here, I'm going to be really slow with this, right? The guy that just came in here is this guy right here. He just joined May 25th, 2024. This is not the same William. I know this because William has 1.3K subscribers and his name is HP Accuracy. And this is William 127. And he has these posts on his page, remember? So this William is not the same William. That would be two different Williams, one being a troll, one being a troll. So, yeah. Man, oh man. But yeah, we'd love. Oh, you don't need a mic. You don't need a mic. You can talk into your phone. You can show me in the backstage your picture before I bring you up, and then you can turn your camera off. You don't even have to have your camera on. And let's see. Could you tell us anything about Bryan? No. What are you doing? The dog's looking at me over here. She's like, I can tell. Araya's sniffing y'all out. My dog's smart. I think she's got to go out. We're going to go. I think it was raining earlier, so that's why I didn't leave him outside. Oh, hold on one second, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on. she come walking her little fancy butt back, and like she like just scoot her little butt out. But I have this one in here, so I was like, well, I'll be back. Yeah, on both sides, probably this side too, because I'm I'm a little nuts when it comes to this case, but it was worse. It could be worse. It could be worse. But I don't let that happen. Stay calm. They're multiplying. Well, JB beats his wife, so on lives. So he can go and literally, I heard it. I saw it. I know what I saw. I know what I heard. I know what I saw, and I know what I heard. So I heard today. I'm literally like, so I thought I couldn't be like what comes out, but I do get shocked with what comes out. Do you know what I mean? I really do. And what did I hear today? I heard something today. They are hot today. Do you want to leave your camera on, or you want to turn it off? I don't know if you can hear me. Let me see if I can see. What are you saying? Just trying to check the chat. Did he block me? Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I heard that a person that was getting gifted items on the platform was selling them on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, are we all okay? Are we okay? I'm like, do I need to like, I don't know. It's just been weird. It's been really weird. They're cold to leave, yeah. Well, I'm going to jump off of here. I don't know where William went. He probably got banned, but yeah, same. Yeah, like your name could be anything on the platform. Like, I mean, someone can make up of me. Someone can take my picture, and you would think it was me. So that's how you check. So if I'm ever in a comment section or something and I'm wilding out, or you're like, that doesn't sound like Tanya, or that's not like Tanya, check it. Because I started my YouTube channel a long time ago. I don't remember when exactly, but I had it. And then, I took it I didn't use it. I just used it for I don't know, to have one. But you'll know it's me. But yeah, people will take your profile picture and you'll think it's them. But I've just learned on this platform. It's just, I don't trust anything. You know what I mean? I like to see things for myself and read them. And plus it's because I'm blind in one eye. So I like to read things a few times because it takes me a little bit to absorb it, things like that. So yeah. But I'm going to jump off of here. I'm going to take this one out. She's about to fall off the chair. Look at her. She's half on, half off. Grass seed? DC's granny's got us. I did say the other night, if you do an AI, I would. But I'm going to jump off of here. I'm going to jump off Mary Beth. She's going to come up, but I'm going to jump off of here just because I got to get the dogs out. It's too late. It's going to rain in 5 minutes. So I better jump off of here. But you guys have a good evening. I will see you guys all back tomorrow afternoon. And yeah, just have a good night. And tomorrow, you guys, if you guys want to pop up on panel, you guys are more than welcome to. I'll drop the link. Just remind me whenever we start the live, and I'll drop the link for you guys, and you guys can jump up and talk. But I'm going to take this one out and the other one out because I couldn't get them out earlier today because it was pouring down rain all day, and they will not go unless it's nice. So thanks, guys. I will see you guys all later. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out.